Hi there. I am Foluke Olayele. Before becoming a certified financial coach, I was in corporate America for 24 years as a national sales manager. And while doing that, I had the opportunity of being a merit badge counselor for the local Boy Scouts here. And for the Eagle Scouts personal management merit badge, one of the things that they did that they're required to do for Eagle Scouts is to look at their numbers, their dollars, as well as their time. Okay, that's going to come up as we talk about money because those two things actually work very well together. So, the Eagle Scouts, what they got out of the merit badge was a framework for how to manage their time and their money. And that's what I want you guys to get out of today's session is a framework. So what we're going to talk about is going to be covered in 3 words: plan, protect, and prosper. That's what I want you guys to do with your money today. I want you to look at how you are going to plan for the future by managing your habits, your mindsets, and basically your heart behind your money. Money is not just what you spend. It's not just a bill. It's not just a number. It has a lot to do with what we actually believe in our values. Okay. So we're going to walk through the framework. And the first thing before we even get into the budgeting piece is your identity, especially the 18-year-olds in here. Okay. As an 18-year-old, I want to remind you that you are intelligent and you are capable and you have the ability to learn all the things that your parents and other adults have already learned. So you're going to seek out knowledge so that way you can constantly be growing. When you finish school, that's not the end of it. So I want you to choose not to fall into the same debt trap that you hear a lot of adults are burdened with right now. That's what I'm focused on in my training. I don't want you guys to feel stuck after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, carrying the weight that a lot of people have of $20, $30, $40,000 of debt. Okay. So with the budgeting, I created a framework that I call the 40-60 plan. And what that is it covers your giving, your saving, your investing, your fun, and your life. This is a plan that I created for my clients that basically teaches you to right side up your budget. And when I say right side up, that means putting you before you put other people. Put your generosity, your giving, your values first. Then put your future first by saving and investing in your future self. You may not want to work until you're 65. Okay, too many people feel like they have to. But with a plan, you could actually, at 35, work crazy hard, go to college, work your butt off for 10, 15 years, and then decide to do whatever it is that you want to because you have saved up a good chunk of freedom money. Invest in yourself. And the third piece, fun. Put 10% away for having fun today, right now. Too many people work hard every month and they earn a really great living, but they don't even enjoy the money that they have. So set aside a specific amount of money to enjoy every single month in full. And when you do that, the remaining 60% is for other people, is for your bills, is for life, it's for expenses. If you live on a budget like that, you will never be what's called living paycheck to paycheck. Okay. So I want you to, if you can with me, take out your phone, or if you have a piece of paper, and the parents in here can do this as well. If you don't want anyone to see your numbers, we're far enough apart. I think we're good. But think of your monthly income. And for students, think about whether it's your allowance or what you're anticipating for the summer. Take that number and times 0.10. Just put 10%. Whatever that number is, that's the number that you would want to give. It's good to know that number in your head because as you're out and about, you have an idea. Am I in budget or am I out of my budget? Have I gone over my budget? So take your monthly number, multiply it by 10%. Okay. Take that same number and multiply it by 0.60. 60%. Some people realize that their expenses are significantly more than that 60% number. And when it's higher than that, that's when people start feeling stress. And that's what I want to help you guys prevent, is the burden of that stress. Okay. And by the way, most adults do not ever put a percentage to their spending on a given month. Now, 60 seconds. All right. That's really all it takes. And as you get more money, it could be 15 minutes. The more you engage with your money, the easier it gets. Now, when we talk about managing your finances, I actually want to touch on the second pillar, which is protection. The first pillar was planning your budget. The second one is protecting your money. These things here, banking, your apps, insurance, documents, portfolio, digital security, and reputation, they can expose you financially to risk and harm. So I'm going to touch on just a few of them and how you want to protect yourself. Banking, open a checking and a savings account. We already walked through how. Okay. They're not the same thing, but both are necessary. The checking is revolving. You get money in, you spend it on your bills, the 40-60 that we talked about. The saving is like a plan B. It's a bucket for a rainy day. Okay. And by the way, it's going to rain. There are going to be things that happen you did not plan for. Something breaks, there's an accident, stuff you did not plan, a bill came in you were not expecting. So you need both accounts. Insurance, you need to know what a deductible is. If you've never looked at an insurance document, please look at your parents. For auto insurance, medical insurance, have an idea what that looks like. Because as an adult, you're responsible for that. And you don't want it to be a shock. I have mentored tons of young adults, young professionals, and I've seen them cry at 30 years old because they're like, I was not ready for this. And you guys are not going to be one of them. Documents, your social security card, birth certificate, passport, they're not just pieces of paper. Okay. They could be in the wrong hands, very detrimental to your financial future. We heard about fraud. Those documents can literally have somebody pretending to be you. So you want to guard it and guard it very well. You may even want to have your parents continue to keep it even after you go to college. And you want to have a copy of it because you're going to need that information for things that you're registering for and accounts that you're opening. Okay. Digital security. When you leave home, even if you're staying home, by the way, no one is going to be manning your email. No one is going to be, or maybe they will, but you're going to be taking on more and more of that responsibility. Okay. So you want to guard your email. You want to protect yourself from phishing scams and even Cash App scams. There are scams that are specifically targeted at young people, 20-year-olds, college students who just don't know. So you want to make sure that you're avoiding those. And if you haven't seen it, get the two-factor authentication for all of your financial accounts. Basically, what that means is it's going to text you or email you. So if somebody is in some other state, country, pretending to be you, they're likely not going to get that text. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself that way. And here's a special tip that I have. Do not click a link in an email for a financial institution. If you get an email that says, click here and enter your password, or, oh my goodness, this transaction did not go through, click here to, give us the okay or the approval. Do not ever click it. What you want to do is you want to go to your browser and type in that bank's information. Bank of America, Wells Fargo. Save that direct link in your favorites. But don't click on a link because it's likely a phishing email. Okay. And you're going to put in your password and now they've got your password to that institution. All right. Now, staying out of debt. I want to talk to you about 3 things that you're going to hear, actually more than 3 things, but three main ones that you hear pretty much everywhere that is stated as if it were a fact. Okay, but they're actually myths. And they've been time tested to be myths. They're not true. My framework is absolutely simple. You can never get into a credit card trap and be burdened with credit card debt if you never get debt. Okay. Everyone tells themselves that they're going to pay it off every month in full. That's the intention. But national numbers show that 70% of Americans do not. Okay. Here's some numbers for you. Credit card, national average right now in credit card, revolving credit card debt is $11,100 per household, with interest rates at 21 to 36%. Auto loans, $37,000. Interest rates at 4.7 to 21.8%. Student loans. You guys hear about this one all the time because it's a really big problem. $56,000 per household. The federal interest rates is 6.39 to 8.94. But the private student loan interest rates is 2.84 to 17.99 for student loans. You do not have to be in debt. And your biggest potential for money, by the way, is your money, not borrowed money. So when someone suggests that you borrow money, I want you to think about holding a water bottle. Me holding a water bottle. Okay. So this water bottle probably weighs less than a pound. Not a big deal. It's refreshing, right? When I pick it up and I drink from it. But when I hold it for 30 minutes, or I hold it for an hour, this 1 pound water bottle becomes exceptionally heavy. And I actually did arms yesterday. No, I did arms on Monday. Legs yesterday. Okay. This water bottle gets heavy. The intention that people have is, I'm just going to take a sip and I'll pay it off. I'm just going to get into a little bit of debt and I'll pay it in full. But the reality is, they hold this for 10 years. I had a client, 28 years. In the past, people used to pay off their student loans in 5 to 8 years. Now people are carrying it until their own kids are going to college and then some. Okay. So I'm going to put this water bottle down. Ooh. Okay. And we're going to focus on something a lot more pleasant, which is your future. Sorry, I'm pointing at that and I should be pointing over
okay.
here.
I
Got it.
was gonna. There you go.
Okay. Building your future. I love for people to dream. To dream. I want you to do that because a lot of adults don't actually pause long enough to dream about why they even earn money. What is it that you want to do with it? You know you want to live well and live comfortable, but what does that mean? So dream about not, 6 weeks before school is over?
23 days.
Okay, you're counting. And don't even dream about the summer, right? What is summer vacation going to be like? I'm sure there's some travel plans and things like that involved, which is awesome. But I want you to dream about when you're 30 years old. What life do you want at 30? Because the next 4 years or 5, depending on how long you're in school for, is going to determine what your life looks like at 30 years old. Okay. And what if I told you that the decisions you make will decide whether you're burdened with debt on your 30th birthday or you have enough money for a down payment on a home? That's how big a deal it is for you to start now. A Roth IRA, it's basically tax-free money, but you need to have a job. Every amount that you put away literally earns significant interest on the positive end. Compound interest works both ways, by the way. If you owe somebody, if you're borrowing money, compound interest works just as beautifully, negatively bad as it does if you're putting money away for your future. It compounds and it blows up. I did a calculation. I wrote a book, and in it, I did this math calculation. If at the age of 16, you put $100 away a month, $100 per month until you're 60, it's about $60,000. But what it builds for you, it's about $265,000. That's only $100 if you add nothing else to it. You contribute 60. The compound interest adds in 200,000. If you didn't start at 16, start at 18. But every year you don't start, you're delaying compound interest significantly. Okay. So there's a Roman philosopher by the name of Seneca, and he's credited with this saying: luck, everybody wants to be lucky. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And you have the opportunity to be prepared now. So time is something that I think every adult in this room will tell you that we cannot buy back. Before I go into this, actually, I want to say something about buying a house. You probably hear a lot of people in California saying that they cannot afford to buy a house in California. But what if you could? What if when you go to college, you have the mindset that I am working through college, I'm putting money away, and a few years after I graduate, I will own a home. It literally is possible with a plan. Okay. The habits that you build today are the foundation of that home tomorrow. All right. So your move, you made a plan. We did the whole budgeting thing, right? And I gave you guys tools to protect your money, protect your identity, protect your accounts. And I gave you ways for you to prosper with money as well. Stuff that you can literally do right now if you're working. I do have additional information, and I created a checklist. It's a pretty thorough checklist. It's about 17 pages for 18-year-olds. And it goes through everything that you need to do with money right now. Stuff that you need to protect. Stuff that you need to get from your parents. Information that you need to know. And for the parents, you may have kids coming up. You may have other people's kids, nieces, nephews, etc. But this also provides, it's not as extensive as the 18-year-olds. It's not 17 pages. It's only 14. But it also goes in great detail with how you can let go. Gradually make them more responsible for their finances so that they can thrive and prosper. Because that's what you want to do. You want to see your children thrive. I know I want to see mine thrive. So, thank you.
Thank you.